outside of Manhattan Criminal Court. So there's a lunch break right now until 3 o'clock. I'm not going to be returning after that because I have some things to tend to. But I am here right now. Next to me is one of Harvey's attorneys, Arthur Idala. Here, take this right here.
One of the many.
One of the many. I'm turning this on. Guys, tell me if you can hear me in the chat. I want to make sure this is on. And please let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Hi, Dizzy. Can you hear me? Sorry, I was really close up. All right. Okay, great. Well, they're coming here. I'm going to face here. Hold this for me. Okay. So can you explain? I've been live tweeting, so anyone who has seen my tweets, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you want to disqualify one of the ADAs based on her.
She took notes for a very substantial witness, and in the notes, there's a lot of information that's not there about what happened on what she claims happened on the night in question. And since that prosecutor is the only one who can testify about the notes and what she said and how the notes were written down, we said to the judge, either she's going to agree in writing to say that yes, these things were not said. Had they been said, I would have written them down, or that prosecutor's going to leave the case and be a witness, and that we would call to solidify the fact that the first time this complainant was interviewed by the district attorney's office, they did not make those statements. So
okay, hold that. Well, but why did they say you had it for over a year? You had all that stuff, and you said it's just.
We did have it, but we listen. It's not our obligation to figure out who wrote what. It's their obligation to say, well, this is the prosecutor who took these notes. These notes could be a big piece of evidence. We better have someone else who we can call onto the witness stand besides this particular prosecutor who's trying the case. So they made the mistake, not us. We just brought it to the judge's attention here a couple of weeks before trial.
And you would potentially want to use ADA Lucy as a witness?
Possibly, but if they say, hey, yeah, this big witness never said this the very first time she was interviewed by law enforcement, that's pretty powerful for Mr. Weinstein's defense.
So I'm dying to know. I mean, you guys obviously have discussed this, but do you think you'll put him on the stand?
I think it's a very real possibility. I think we're all going to discuss it. We'll see how the evidence comes out. But Mr. Weinstein definitely has a story to tell and wants to tell it. And then we're blessed with a great legal team here, and it'll be a joint decision.
Okay. And how do you feel about Judge Farber's ruling so far? I think he's pretty fair.
Judge Farber is clearly a very thoughtful and knowledgeable judge. Seems to be all three strikes in this season.
Okay. Do you want to say anything else?
Nope, we're good.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Are you so sure? Are you so mad?
No.
I did say that. Hi. Hi. And here, take this. Guys, I just want to make sure you Jody, you said you couldn't hear. The mic should be working. Let me know if something's going on. You're amazing, by the way. Mike, you really are. How do you spell your last name?
Cibella, Cibella.
Okay. And you when did you join the team, the defense team?
I came on this past December onto the team.
Okay.
And it's been a roller coaster ride ever since.
You're such an all-star. You really are. You're an all-star out there.
Well, I've been around this case because, Arthur was involved in this case from back in 2020. I'm in the same office. This is what I do. This is what I've done for the last 30 years. And so there's a lot to work with in this case. And we started to talk about just now on the record, as things are now finally starting to come in to the public record about these allegations. And so there's a lot to work with, and we're looking forward to exposing all that.
Yeah, how do you feel about jury selection this time around? I feel like people are changing their mind a little bit about Me Too, and they're being a lot more open-minded about everything.
Well, I definitely think there's a whole new perspective on Me Too. Not to say that there weren't valid issues that were brought to light, but that it's not so black and white, and that we do have laws that apply. So there are certain things that certainly are not proper in the workplace and should not go on, but does that mean it's criminal? And that's what we have here. We have a case that's trying to say someone deserves to be behind bars and perhaps for the rest of their life, based upon how they acted. And so there's certain things that shouldn't go on in any industry, certainly the entertainment industry or any industry, but it comes down to whether people were willing participants or whether they were forced. And the allegations here as to two of these complaining witnesses is that they were forced. And Mr. Weinstein adamantly denies that. And of course, he also denies having engaged in non-consensual sexual relations.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Me Too is a big movement, but we're here to talk about very specific criminal allegations and whether these allegations do rise to the level of a crime. And we're confident that when all the evidence is out, that the jury will agree with us.
Yeah, one of the comments that I just got was he's not a saint, but it sounds like he got railroaded. So, and I've seen that. I saw that today on Twitter when I was live tweeting. It's really interesting.
Right. The criminal justice system doesn't put you in jail for not being a nice guy.
Yeah.
For not being a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have committed a crime, very specific crime. And Mr. Weinstein, there's no evidence of him having used force with anyone.
Wow.
And that will come out of this trial.
Wow. And something I thought was interesting that Arthur had said in the past is, this trial is going to be different from a lot of rape trials. You're not going to see police officers. You're not going to see law enforcement. You're not going to see doctors. It's going to be nothing like that. I mean, that's really interesting.
Well, that's one of the complications that's now arisen for the people that they're left to decide.
I'm going to hold this for you. Hold on. I'm getting some. Sorry, guys.
That's.
All right, guys. Is this better? I'm trying to figure out if this mic's better. Here, hold that up a little closer. Okay, thank you. All right. Sorry, Mike.
Well, that's the very issue that's now arisen for the people that have to decide how they want to handle it today, because this investigation was essentially run outside of the police department. This investigation was run by the district attorney's office, by their attorneys and their investigators. Well, what one of their attorneys wrote down just is not consistent with testimony that we expect this complaining witness to give based on her prior grand jury testimony. And so they probably would have been better served in that instance to have had police officers or detectives involved. So this is a different case. We're not going to hear from any probably law enforcement outside of perhaps people working for the district attorney's office, which is certainly unusual.
Wow, that is really interesting. And with jury selection this time around, I don't know if you can share. I heard some of the questions in there, but one of the questions, do you think it's going to be something along the lines of like should women or people in general wait to report a sexual assault, or how do they feel about people waiting? How do they feel about how are you going to position some of these questions to find the right jurors?
Right. Well, we'll certainly explore with jurors what their understanding, what their beliefs are with regards to allegations made by someone that they're the victim of a sexual assault, and how they may act and what they might expect of them, and whether they're able to come into this case and look at the evidence fairly and non-prejudicially. Yeah. So we'll explore those areas. The judge is going to certainly explore any prejudices that any potential jurors may have, and we'll be having our opportunity to ask some questions as well. And that'll certainly be one of the areas.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for talking to me. Anytime. Yeah, you're amazing. If I get in trouble, I'm calling you. Thank you. Hopefully I never get in trouble. All right, you guys. Let me know if this I don't know what this. It's like the light is on, but maybe I messed up. I'm not sure. Hopefully, did you guys catch most of that? Let me know if you caught most of that. Arthur's he's talking to press over here. I'll come over here and catch this. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Thank you. They weren't talking into the mic. Got it.
That complaint will be gone. So you get two. So it's not like it's some side issue. I mean, it's actually the subject of the appellate division ruled in favor. And we go to trial with two complaints, not three. Common sense. Yeah. Likelihood of success.
That's a very elementary thing to say, but the appeals court reversed the convictions, but there were acquittals in the first trial. Those carry on, so it's not like everything's on the table again.
No, correct.
It's still open book,
but just so you guys understand, CW2, he's already served all the time. So, if he gets acquitted of CW1, gets acquitted of CW3, but they find him guilty of CW2. He goes right back to California. That's right. He's done. The case is over. The judge would sentence him.
Do you feel optimistic we're gonna work something out that doesn't delay this trial?
It depends on how much her colleagues want Miss Lucy at that table. I mean, as long as they're reasonable about this stipulation, if they don't want it to be on the table, I'm cautiously optimistic. And the judge it's a ground ball. It's not a hard stipulation.
I'm gonna walk away for a minute. So if you guys can hear me better, I want to explain kind of what is going on about the trial possibly being delayed 60 days. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen, but hopefully you guys can hear this a little bit better. But Arthur kind of explained it, and Mike, the other attorney, sort of explained it as well. But one of the ADAs who was sitting at the table, she was present for a witness interview in 2020, and this witness apparently at the time was she was going through she was suing Harvey civilly through Doug Wigdor. And I guess if you guys might know Wigdor, he's one of the attorneys that represent a lot of the Diddy accusers as well. So she apparently took all these notes, had this Zoom with this witness who then 5 years later goes and is testifying in front of the grand jury, and they're saying that there is an issue with that. So at this point, they want to get her disqualified. And if they do, the state has requested a 60-day continuance, and the defense is like, holy shit, that's not gonna fly. That's crazy. Like, because I'll be honest, like Harvey, he looks bad. He does not look good at all. When I saw him, he looked like literal death. He's white as a ghost. It's truly a pathetic sight. He looks 20 years older than he actually is. But yeah, so I think that the judge should rule today about whether or not they're going to have a continuance. I don't think they will personally. I think everything's going to start as planned, because also the judge was going through scheduling, and he was saying he's already looked through his schedule about certain days and this and that. So I just feel like, yeah, things are going to go as planned. That's my guess, but I'll update everybody a bit later as well. Yeah, it's literally freezing. So I'm gonna head back uptown now, but hopefully that was informative for everyone. And yeah, I'll be covering the Harvey case when it starts. Jury selection again should be starting on the 15th. But let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But like I said, I'm gonna head back uptown. And I'll do a write-up later as well. I'll put all this in writing so you can see. But okay, and if you couldn't hear any of the attorneys, I will try to transcribe that later. Oh yes, I will. I'm seeing Cheryl Mack tonight. It's gonna be great. I'll take pictures there. She's in town for the Hamptons Whodunit, so it'll be fun. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye.